Shut up and sit down.
Alright, well, welcome back, guys, to the Midnight Showing. I'm Dan Connors.
And I'm Bayless Tunnicliffe.
In this episode, we saw Alita Battle Angel. So, we we just got back from this, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, one of the most fresh ones we've done.
Yeah.
So this is opening night, and we just got back 20 minutes ago.
And we're both stunned here.
Yeah, you could say stunned.
Yeah. The air in coming back from this movie was, I could tell already. We were both
I can't even believe that. Okay, I'll
Man, this movie was intense. In not the good way.
It's okay. It started so strong.
Yeah.
Like the first 45 minutes
were incredible.
Yeah, just like the world building, everything together, the visuals, like it was so interesting.
Okay, so how about this? So, because I think we agree a lot on this, I kind of think it'd be good to take it from the first 45 minutes, what we thought of it, and then everything after. So let's start with the first part of the movie. I was thinking along the lines of, I was getting really critical, and the only things I could find were, sometimes I really wanted to just explore the world more. I mean, the world building was fantastic.
Yeah, it moved very fast.
I mean, I feel like it was forced to move fast, and we were forced to be exposed to these characters so quickly because the rest of the movie was there, but I wanted to just see more of kind of like a Blade Runner-esque thing where...
It was very Blade Runner, yeah.
Well, the thing about it is that I think that Blade Runner focused more on the world and let the world speak for the story more than the characters. And in this movie, it felt the opposite. It felt like the world was a place that the characters existed, rather than Blade Runner, which is the characters that...
Well, yeah, and it was so obvious, too, with the guy, like... I hate that trope where, we have this main character, and then you find this,
side character...
Yeah, like a side character, or, like, the every guy, or whatever, or... What am I trying to say? Like, the kind of... rogue person.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, here, let me show you the streets, and then it's basically just all exposition, and they're like, that over there.
Yeah.
You don't want to go like that. That's my favorite chocolate shop. Like, it's like I hate that trope where we get the exposition from a character showing off. Like, that's not world building to me.
Yeah.
It is like having, like, it should be discovery, not a guided tour.
Yeah, because it feels like we, the viewer, like the only reason that they were being shown, it's like we were being shown at the same time as Alita, and it's not fun that way. It's not as much of an experience when this Alita going out on her own.
And that was the perfect, like the first 10 minutes or whatever of her discovering everything. Like, she looks up, and it's like she's asking the question, "What's that?" Because that's what we're asking, looking at whatever the city was. The floating city.
Yeah, the huge floating city, yeah.
Like, she's asking the question because we're asking the question, and then Ido answers it, and that's our way of exposition. And then it quickly 180s into the guided tour of him just pointing out stuff.
And it's it's like the worst part about it is that it's bullet points, it's I mean, and again, I want to say that I liked this part. This was a very good part of the movie, even though, there were things to point out that I wish it was... I think the reason why it took this direction was because of the second half of the movie, which we're not talking about yet. But, I mean, I was really excited to see more of this world, and I think that there was just so much there. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was huge. The city felt... it felt real, very real.
Yeah.
The people didn't talk to her. You didn't run into a lot of people because no one runs into people, Like, I don't know, it just felt, it felt like, you had this divide between, because obviously Ido, I don't remember.
Ido.
Was he was a very good doctor, very smart, and he was working on robotics, right? Which, you'd think in the slums people don't have the money for like robotic like tech stuff, but then you're in this frame of mind where this is you already know that this is a very highly advanced civilization, but they're not in the good part of civilization, and that's something just by existing in this world, instead of it being like, oh, up there, you can't go up there, no one goes up there. Oh, that thing, that'll kill you if you I mean, that was cool, the part where she almost got killed by the thing. What was it called? The Enforcer or whatever it was, the big metal machine thing. Sorry,
Centurion.
The Centurion, which is a pretty baller name, I gotta admit.
Those things looked crazy. Like, that was a tank. And so I think, like, we're already kind of saying it, but like the world building from the very beginning was incredible. But then one of my biggest, the biggest thing is this guy Hugo ruins the entire movie. Why is this movie a romance?
Exactly.
Why? This should have been, I don't even know where to start with it, but he just ruins it. He comes in and it's just like, he's not even that intimidating. At least, like I was saying earlier, the tropes and whatever, usually it's this kind of intimidating character, or like, there's a secret about them, or you don't really trust them for some reason. But he's actually, to me, just came off as a guy that's just like, hey, let me show you around. Like, there was no mystery to him, to me, really. I mean, I knew there was going to be, because why else would he be in this?
Exactly, right.
But he just, like, he comes in, and it just turns right from there into just this, like, roller coaster of an action romance. And they had it set up so good with her and Ido. There was so much mystery between both of them. We all of a sudden we think he's the one killing people. Which was interesting how they spun that.
Incredible. Because I'm glad they didn't take it too far. I'm glad that didn't continue to, like, an unreasonable degree.
They gave you the answer real quick.
And then the greatest part is that really just blows away. Everyone really stops. I don't even think we know who that guy is.
The murderer?
We just know it's some bad guy, right? We don't know, we never find out who actually is killing women. And that's the beauty of it, is that instantly, as soon as there's no, like, mystery, it's just dropped, because it's not part of this character, they're not afraid to leave a loose end, we don't know. That's part of this huge world.
They tied it in, too, because they specifically said it's just like, it's the slums, there's murder and whatever, like, it's going to happen. And so it was just a tie-in for us to see, like, what Ido was actually up to, which then was just interesting to be like, because that opened up a whole nother world of story of the factory and the, what do they call them? The hunter somethings? Hunter, like...
There's one other thing. Hunter killers, or no, not hunter killers. It was like two words that meant the same thing.
Yeah, it was hunter or something. But it opened up that whole different storyline of that, which was real interesting, of just how that works, where, like, he's like, there used to be cops back then. Now there's not. We just get paid to do it.
And it shows how much that this has deteriorated. That these slums have deteriorated into this, kind of like almost Star Wars-esque, like, like we get smuggler kind of territories, where, like, this is just abandoned by all sense of the word of law, Well, and then it just opens up, so it opens up the whole story of the hunter killers or whatever. We'll just call them hunters.
And then it also opens up so much about Ido's character himself. Like, all of a sudden, you learn all about this guy. And it's like, he needed the money, or no, well, his daughter was killed, so it wasn't for the money at first, but then he's doing the money to keep the place open. Which was interesting, too, because that was just, like, humbling. But I don't know, like, it was on such a good path, and it should have just stuck only with her and Ido. And it should have just been a whole, like, self-discovery, like, not apprentice kind of master type thing, but more like the guided father-daughter that they had going. And then, like, she's the most powerful extraterrestrial weapon of all time, and it's just like, it's a romance. It's a romance. And
Wait, calm down. Okay, let's take a little breather, dude.
God.
I don't think you breathed the whole dude. Okay, I agree with you.
No, and I'm just trying to, like, summarize everything, and then we'll break it down. I just, like, they had it so interesting with the two of those characters.
I agree.
Like, you can have the rogue guy where it's like he comes in and like has some mystery. You can write that character in, but he gets right in. He knows Ido, all this stuff, and then it just turns into like, can robots love humans? Oh,
well, that's like way later. Like,
yeah,
and that was cringy.
That's where it leads to.
But like, see, yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so I agree with you because they could have surgically removed Hugo from this movie.
And even that, like, you had so many badass names. Alita, Ido, Vector, and his name's Hugo.
Yeah.
Like,
probably because he's most
he
beta in this movie.
He couldn't, just have him be on par with everybody else.
I honestly, here's what I thought was going to happen, right? Because they had such a good dynamic, like you said, between Ido and Alita, and it definitely was open. You know, it wasn't that I thought it was going to be. I mean, it could have turned out anyway, that these two characters would have had a relationship, and I know I would have been satisfied with it because they had something really good going there. Like that relationship, there was just
so much mystery.
Like, even if she left and never talked, and Ido was still in the movie somehow, you know, like they could have wrapped that in. I mean, I really would not have been upset about that because that would have been interesting, the way that it did play out. You know, the way that the other million ways that it could have played out. I mean, these two characters were very round, very dynamic, and the point that sucks is that once Hugo was in the movie, I was like 90% certain. Once we met him, I was like, okay, I thought he was the killer, the woman killer, right? And that he would die, he would be murdered.
Oh, like quickly?
Yeah, like around the time, like maybe like 10 minutes after we find out that Ido's not the hunter killer. I thought that they were gonna hunt Hugo down, and then they keep him in the movie somehow. And I'm like, okay, that's one way you.
But
could
they
go
still
with
somehow make him a criminal.
Yeah, because he's like stealing the arms and legs from people, and then he's like, wait, I didn't kill anyone though. What did you think was gonna happen to this dude after Vector totally walked up and stared that dude in the face? And he's like, oh, well, now...
I mean, to be fair, he didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, but, I mean, was he naive enough to think that Vector was just going to be like, hi, dude!
No, I just mean, like...
Bye-bye!
To be fair, he didn't, but...
But, I mean, you'd have to be a child to think that you weren't...
I'm not saying... I'm just saying, according to factory law...
What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Defending Hugo, dude? I thought this is a Hugo rant fest, dude.
Man, he ruined everything.
It was so soppy. That's the thing, okay? It could have had romance in it, okay?
No, don't.
Well, it shouldn't have. I'm not arguing that it shouldn't have, or it should have.
I know it. Okay, I know. Before you yell at me, like about everything, not you, but like, it's. I get there has to be romance. You know, that's another like. It's a draw for an audience.
I don't think there had to be romance.
No, but in terms of movies, like they have to draw that audience, and there has to be some sort of thing. You know, I get it, but. Just for the love of God, can we just have one where there's not?
Yeah.
She's a badass cyborg in the 25, 30 something or whatever. Like, can we just have the mystery between her and Ido and discovering who she is, but then the backstory of him. You could have made him be like, I don't know. I kind of almost thought they were going to go with he used to be working like in a dark way with Vector or something. Or what was his name? Not Neo. Nova. Like, I thought there was going to be some sort of, he had a dark past and he changed, which they kind of tried to, that he was building monsters for Metal Ball or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So they kind of tried to, but I don't know. It's just like, you had it so good.
They
fell off so hard.
I want to give this movie the most praise. I think of most of the movies I've seen recently, this was one of the greatest movies I've ever seen for the fact that it had oozing potential. It was filthy in what they could have done to make it just an art. You know what I mean? Like, this could have been a work of art. Like Blade Runner. I don't remember Ghost in the Shell. Like, I don't think I even saw that movie, but...
Oh, the new one with...
the remake, with Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I heard that it wasn't done poorly, and I thought that
I heard it was almost the same thing that we're thinking of this. The visuals and the world building was actually pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But the actual story was just awful.
Yeah.
Especially people that liked the anime.
Yeah.
They just said it was an awful adaptation.
Which, that definitely makes sense. And it's sad to see these go this way, where, you know, we're getting a lot of Japanese media from mainly manga, and it's being adapted into these movies, and it's just destroyed in an abomination attempt. I think this one
they Americanize it with the romance.
And I mean, and here's the thing. Like I was saying, romance. They could have added romance. Listen, you gotta Americanize it if you want that stuff.
I figured it out.
What?
It's because James Cameron wrote this movie.
Who's James Cameron?
And James Cameron wrote Titanic. That's why there's soppy romance. This is just cyberpunk Titanic.
Jesus Christ. God.
I figured it out.
It's just, there could have been romance. Oh my God.
I really don't think so. If you make her a badass, like, intergalactic battle angel, no, don't make romance. The romance, quote, like, finger quotes, hang on. The finger quotes romance would be the father-daughter connection between her and Ido. He lost his daughter. He needed a daughter. She doesn't know who she is. She needed a father figure. They both have mysteries.
We've already talked about that.
I know,
but
it just blows my mind that they didn't do that. It blows my mind that they had that set up, they just trashed it.
Well, they did play on that. They played it in a lot.
No, but I mean just that whole thing where it's like you could have made this so cool. She's a battle angel with a nanotech Martian robot AI suit thing with the heart more powerful that can run the city for a month. Like,
by the way, earlier you called her intergalactic. She's not intergalactic.
She's from Mars.
It's within our galaxy, dude. So
Whatever.
Intergalactic would mean she's from another galaxy.
No, I didn't. I said it differently first. What did I say?
You said intergalactic. That was one of the words.
No, the first one. I said interplanetary, I think.
No, you said intergalactic. I remember.
No. I said it twice. I said the first one right and the second one wrong. Okay, you got me, okay?
No. The first one you got wrong. But the second one you reminded me. I was like, I need to talk about that.
No.
Oh my God, okay. You know what? This is a little too high energy right now. We're getting a little too much into the weeds. What I want to talk about is they could have had a romance. Just don't make it so soppy. Just don't make it where she's like...
I just didn't need it. I don't need any romance.
But, like you said, they need it Americanized. Otherwise, no one's gonna watch it.
I get that. Let's say that's negligible. Like, ignoring the fact that you would need to draw that audience. To have this be an amazing movie, let's play off the fact that they don't need it.
Okay, so if we're pretending...
If we're writing this movie...
Okay, if we're writing this movie, we cut Hugo out entirely. No. Better yet, we have him in the movie, and it serves as a learning point for the main character. Like, so she...
And it's a different actor.
Yeah,
it's a different
totally
name.
Different actor.
It's a different look. It's a different storyline, and he dies within 10 minutes on screen.
Not 10 minutes. We have... Right around the point...
10 minutes on screen is a long time. Like the character on screen for 10 minutes?
Oh, yeah. He doesn't get more than 7 minutes screen time. We're going to be real right now. They don't go on that little love boat chocolate adventure. They don't go on the whole, ride on my bike.
The chocolate. It's just like, you already had that with the oranges with Ido. I didn't need it again with chocolate with Hugo. That was the same thing.
It makes sense for this character. She doesn't remember eating at all.
Just have it be Ido showing her around. Or have her discovering it. That's what I
think
it would
be better. Yeah, it'd be better if she discovered it. What I mean is that they don't have that. They walk around. She walks around and gets it herself.
It's just
you need to diffuse yourself.
And then you couldn't have thought of any other better motorbike than just a one wheel. That's been in every science fiction.
That was like a lame version of it too.
And it was huge.
Yeah, it was like so dumb. It looked so dumb.
It was.
And no one else was riding him, so you could tell this guy was just the only nerd willing to ride that piece of garbage.
Jeez, I wonder which one's going to be our second character when he pulls up on that thing. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say about him, is that I also knew that it wasn't just going to be... You were saying you thought he might be the killer. I immediately didn't think he would be because he knew Ido. If he was just a random dude, that kind of mattered.
Well, it seemed like... I think that's... To me, that served as more of a knowledge of... like Ido, that everyone knew Ido, because she mentions Ido several times to various people, and they all know him. They're like,
it was more like I had already trusted Ido at that point, so I didn't distrust Hugo when we learned that he knew him.
I was just
that makes sense. Like,
I would refuse to believe that they were setting up a romance so early in the movie. If it was gonna, because like you said, it was enthralling. This movie start.
Oh, they definitely, as soon as
the
Hugo
world
was
building,
on screen.
the world building was incredible. So I was too naive, and I believed, like a very naive child would, that, well, I'm not a child, but I am naive, but I guess, I don't know, anyway, that they couldn't destroy this beautiful prospect of a movie with something so stupid, because that's the only thing I could think, because I'm like, okay, this is not a soppy romance. This is not going to be that. So what else are they doing? They're setting this character up so that she trusts him way too hard.
He's a backstabber.
Yeah. So it's like she, so it plays out exactly the same way that she's kind of falling for him because she's kind of young, and it makes sense. And then he betrays her by being the murderer of women. And then it builds this whole slum way better. It's not just like, hey, I'm a nice dude with a big bike. Hey, it's your first day on the block. Why don't I go buy you some chocolate and show you all the bad parts of town? Don't go over there. That's where hooligans hang out. Those are bad people. It's like, dude, like you're totally ruining this like slum area, especially with like Ido's backstory when we find out that his child was straight up murdered by some psychopath.
Yeah, searching for drugs.
Yeah, like that is totally a slum thing to happen, right?
And he's like, but he's so interesting in how deep that is because that's debilitating.
Yeah.
And obviously we see that the wife left, but then he's still the nicest dude. Like he's the most interesting character because he's just like a dude and a human. He's not even part cyborg. He's just a human.
It shows a lot of depth of the character.
And it's just like, but we totally ignore him because of Hugo.
I didn't.
No. But I mean, like, the storyline ignores
you
him.
telling me that you paid more attention to Hugo?
No. The storyline forces us to ignore him because there would have been so much more between him and Alita, and then you get a snippet of it when she finds the body. The what do they call it? Or something?
Yeah.
The Martian, whatever.
United. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, whatever. The purple body, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you get a snippet of it when he's like, they bring him back and he's like, I'm not going to do it because this is a battle suit, like all this stuff. And it's like, then they have that father-daughter fight where it's like, you don't understand me, whatever.
Yeah.
And that was a funny joke where he's like, your brain is perfectly healthy for a normal teenage girl. And he's like, as healthy as that can be, I guess.
Yeah, or something like that. See,
you get little snippets like that again, and then goes right back to Hugo and his stupid quest to get up under the Zodal or whatever.
Gosh, I don't know. See, and the worst part about Hugo's existence is that he belittles, or not even belittles, but makes Alita a less interesting character because she's so focused, and it's cool, and that's why I say that the romance could happen. I would be okay with it because it showed like Alita's a very interesting and very cool character, and yes, you could have it just with Ido, but I feel like it added a little bit something to her character on her own because she was a stronger character. She was way bigger than Hugo. Hugo was a small and very basic character.
Did they ever even say why he wanted to go up there?
He just wanted to be out there. No,
did they never gave us a reason?
He was just fascinated with it. He just wanted to be where he couldn't.
You know what I bet they're gonna do in the second one, which is obviously coming. There's gonna be a crazy reason, like he's like Nova's son or something.
He survives this
movie. Oh, for sure.
Oh my god, I can't believe.
There's no.
Oh my god, I can't believe.
Yeah.
You know,
but you know what I mean. There's totally gonna be that thing where it's like he's trying to kill Nova because he's his son, and he abandoned him or something.
No, I guarantee you. He just wants to be with his father. He's like, I'm your, illegitimate child.
No, and it's all in the movies. It's always you abandoned me as a kid, and then he tries to kill him. As revenge.
Because then Hugo's gonna attack Alita. Hugo's gonna be used by Nova against Alita. I know it for a fact. He's gonna come back, and that's gonna be it. No,
I don't know.
I know hey, mark my words. Here I'm calling it. First day of Alita's out, Alita Battle Angel, and I already know what's happening in the second one. the second part. Alita Battle Angel, the second part. I always do that in movies. You know, whenever they have like the really like crazy, it's like no, and then like the character falls right out of screen and you can't see it anymore. I always am like, well, they're dead. But that's never what happens. Whenever they give a character like,
I mean, I hope he's dead. I can say that.
Yeah. Like
that visual, we're skipping to the end real quick, but like that was a huge cable.
Oh yeah.
Like that scale of however they built again to world building.
Yeah.
The scale of that thing was
incredible.
Because like fantastic. From a distance, you're like, oh, it's just a cable.
Exactly right.
And they're like, oh, they're just shooting stuff.
Yeah, they looked like small ropes or chains at first. I thought they were just like things that connected to the ground, so it didn't fly away.
And then even in the Alita flashback, you see, oh, that's a big cable, but it was in the dark and it was like a battle scene. But then when they're walking up,
because there's 8 of them in that flashback too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
they all look the same.
You know, which by the way, when they all just shoot at the thing.
Yeah, I heard you laughing about that.
Oh my god, how dumb do you? Hugo's smarter than you. When you're elite fucking guardian, like attacking force. You're like the smartest, like most awesome, Superman.
Yeah.
Of this planet, and you try to shoot it instead of jumping over it. Hugo had a better idea than you. When Hugo's smarter than you, you need to really reevaluate your thinking.
Like, I can't believe it. It's like there was so much storyline to that guy that didn't matter.
I would argue that basically none of it mattered.
Like the whole ripping parts thing, and then him knowing connections with the metal ball, and then like he was literally just used to get. He was just used to get Alita to where she needed to be. There was no backstory of like, and then it got interesting. I got into it for a second because he was working with Vector, and it was like, whoa, okay. Yeah. So he's not just stealing parts. He's stealing parts for Vector, which we don't know what Vector's up to. We don't know if he's good or evil. And so I got into it for a second, and I was like, okay, they could, whatever. They could have a crazy backstory to this guy. And then it was just like, no, he just wants to get money to get up there for we don't know why. Yeah. And then he just falls in love with her, and then he tells him they're quitting, and there was nothing.
Can I talk about my selected scene already? I desperately want to say this. My selected scene will be the heart. When she pulls her heart out and is like, I'm giving this to you. Take my...
Oh, I forgot about
I'll trade this for yours and mine.
That was such an awful scene.
It was the worst, and is the primary reason why I think Hugo shot this movie in the leg, because of the fact that it made Alita the crazy, awesome, deep character that we knew on her own.
Badass.
Yeah, badass, Martian...
female lead character.
Yeah, goddess. Jesus. When she's moving through what is it? What was that game that they played? The battle?
Metal Ball.
Metal Ball, right?
The choreography was insane.
That was beautiful.
Like the fighting, when we first see it, where she's still like learning how to refight in the alley scene thing.
Oh yeah.
Like they made her seem so skilled with also not having any memory of anything. Yeah. Like it actually seemed really like it came natural. Yeah. There was no like, sometimes...
And it wasn't forced either.
Sometimes in movies it's like they actually just completely demolish their opponent and they're like, how did I do that? But like it actually seemed like she was still kind of weak.
Yeah, exactly.
But then
because she didn't have memories.
Yeah, still managed to do it.
Yeah, and that's what upsets me so much is they turn this beautiful, amazing character that's so deep and rich into this. And it does show some character, but I don't want to see
in a bad way though. It shows character, but in a negative.
It's just it was very naive, and it showed it makes sense because her lack of memory probably makes her really. This seemed like, that she didn't really ever... from what we know of her memories, she wasn't really betrayed, Well, she was, because we don't know what happened up there. We still don't know about her memories after.
Yeah, all we know is that she was a warrior or whatever.
Well, no, but when they're going up the cables, we don't know what happened after that.
Oh, yeah, that was the last flashback. Yeah. I loved that cut, by the way, where they're fighting in the alley scene, and then it just cuts to a moon battle. Like it was actually just a space battle on the moon.
No, wait, that was when she was fighting with
in the alley. That's what I mean.
Oh, you mean that alley scene? Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were still talking about the metal ball, joke metal ball thing.
Oh no! When she first is fighting in the alley.
Was that the scene you were talking about just before too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was talking about the metal ball. like practice.
Oh no.
Anyway, yeah.
Which okay, that's another one.
Okay, let me finish this real quick. But yeah, I think it shows like it makes sense because she's probably naive. Like she at least doesn't remember being betrayed seriously ever, and it shows that she's a very she must be a very willing and trusting person even without that naivety of not being betrayed before, because she's in a military sense when they trusted each other with their lives, right? Maybe that shows a lot of this character in that she's willing to do a lot of things for people that she should, right? And be different like that, because that's the point. Alita is awesome because she's intentionally different from this slum world.
Yeah.
That's why Ido's great, because he's intentionally different. He helps people. He helps people without them paying him. He's like
gets that paid in oranges.
Yeah, and it is honest work. It is kind. It is considerate. I wouldn't be surprised if he came down. I think he said he was banished, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he came down intentionally and wanted to help people.
He said he was banished because the daughter was sick.
Oh.
And that's why him and the wife had to leave.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, that he we know that's not true, but it seemed like he just loved doing it. He was a very good person.
Well, you can say that that's true once he got down there.
Yeah.
Because he did change. He said he was building Metal Ball, and then he was like, I'm going to be a doctor now.
Yeah. And
that's a cool job, by the way. Robot doctor.
Yeah.
Because they're also still humans. The CGI with that, those actually looked like cyborgs.
Yeah. It was incredible. Fantastic.
It's actually, it's from James Cameron. We can relate to that, with him doing Avatar. We know he has experience with the most incredible CGI at the time, but that is actually some of the most incredible CGI I've seen.
Yeah.
At this point in time, it looked incredibly real.
And I think it was critical for pushing this envelope, pushing this story, and is why it's sad to see it fall apart at this story writing.
Yeah.
They had such a great world based on the manga, the Japanese manga, and they butchered it with one character, which is let's give them a round of applause. They managed to do they managed to do what I would have, if you had told me that they managed to move halfway through this movie, you said, okay, they're gonna totally butcher this movie with Hugo alone, I'd be like, okay, no.
When did you see the spiral?
It was man, let's try to place it down because there's so many cringy scenes.
Because I think mine for sure was when she gets the new Martian body thing, and she's like, oh, I have new force sensors. You want to try it?
That was it. That was definitely it.
Yeah.
Because I think there were a lot of people laughing at that part because it was, what was that?
Yeah, it was too much.
They were already in this soppy kind of weird shit, and that's how they start the relationship. They've been flirting this whole time, and that is how they start this relationship. Oh, I feel really sensitive now. It was so weird.
It was the worst way to do it because it wasn't like they just survived a life and death situation and then they feel that connection and then it's like they just kiss. It was just like they're alone in the rain. She just upgraded her body or whatever, which maybe that's what caused it, but and then it's just like, I got new force touch sensors. And he's like, close your eyes.
Oh my god.
Where am I now?
It was just so...
Okay, the one that I wanted to go back to was, we'll spin back real quick.
Okay, I'll try to...
In the alley scene...
Clean myself up here.
To talk about another bad decision. Other than Hugo. Going back to the alley scene, which... was so crazy well done. She's following Ido.
Yeah.
And he's built. You're like, oh, maybe he is actually the killer.
Yeah.
And he's building this rocket powered pickaxe.
At the time we didn't know it was rocket powered. He just looked like he was. It was he was assembling something, and then all of a sudden he's standing behind this.
Well, because it looked like a gun at first.
Yeah.
And then because you're like, oh, he said guns were outlawed.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but he's obviously killing women, so whatever. And then it turns into like a hammer. And then the rocket turns.
Yeah. I honestly thought it was gonna, he was building, at first when he first opens up the case, I thought he was pulling out a knife or making a big knife scythe thing, because that's what killed that one chick, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we did find out who killed him. That knife chick, the chick with the big long scyther looking hands. the girl that she stomped her head in.
See, okay, so that's what I'm getting to. Is that whole scene was set up very well. Like you're actually torn. You're like, I don't know whose it is.
It was incredible.
Alita's torn, especially because they played it off like the knife girl was just a person.
Yeah.
And she's like looking around or whatever. She's playing the scene. And then she stops him, and he instantly, as soon as he says that, he's like,
he looks around and he says, "Oh,
well, yeah." He's like, Alita, what are you doing? And as soon as he says that, the way he says it, the way he delivers the line, is instantly like, oh, he had a plan.
Yeah.
Like not like not a bad plan. And then he looks around and he's like, oh, it's a trap. But what I'm eventually getting to is that the other main character flaw that I didn't like with this was that they made the tank guy, whatever, I don't know, the big guy.
Yeah, the big
the big evil robot guy. The big evil robot guy
who gets away.
Like, why was he the number one assassin guy for
right?
Nova? Like, he of all of them, all of the bounty hunter guys, seemed like the lowest part of the kind of ragtag slum bounty hunter guys. Like, that knife girl was incredibly badass.
Yeah.
And then she just gets stomped in like why can Alita beat her so quickly? Like, her design is so much more interesting as an assassin than this brute of just like, he's just a Hulk kind of meathead where he's just like, hey, flea, I'll get you. Like,
I think that was intentionally because it showed that, like, like you said, it seemed like she was still kind of new to it, but she was really, really good. Like, she was very excellently dodging her, and it made sense that a finesse game made more sense to her at that point, or it was more impressive as a finesse game. And you couldn't keep that girl around. I mean, she would have sought up Ido or whatever.
I just mean, like, my main point is just like,
it sucked that he was such a tool.
He was a bad choice for the top of the top.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nova's number one, because even Vector was like scared of the guy.
I would have liked to see that sword dude. That sword dude.
Okay, so that's another one I'm getting to. That guy was so badass looking.
Yeah.
With this demon blade that can cut anything,
and
the
he actor
looks insane.
Was incredible. Like, I love that they chose that actor for it.
Sort of.
What?
So, okay, he looked incredible. As soon as we see him on screen, he's incredibly intimidating, and he's like, that's the bounty hunter around here. Like, you get in his way. Like, he didn't say a word yet, but he's super intimidating. He's scary. And then they just turn him into, like, what's the word for it? They just turn him into, like, this gross, sleazy, like, douchebag.
I mean, yeah, they definitely overplayed it.
Like, I would have liked it so much more if he was actually, like, I don't mean to Star Wars compare, but, like, a Boba Fett stone cold killer of just, like, don't get in my way. Like, he pulls her, like,
but in
the bar
so
scene,
often.
in the bar scene thing, like, yeah, but you can have other characters that are like that guy, where it's like, you can make the other bandits whatever, but if you're making the top guy, I get it, it's like the top guy's gonna have arrogance, that's what I was thinking of. You can have him be arrogant, I get it, but at least have him have a badass side, and that guy had never had a badass part. He was kind of just like jokey all the time.
That's why I think he would have been a good substitute for the brute.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
If he had murked, if Alita had murked all three of them there, and so while we're on the topic of rewriting the story, we get rid of the
script
brute.
doctor.
Brute dies, and then it turns out that Nova's like ace in the hole is that dude. It would have made so much more sense for the entirety of the plot.
Like, he sure seems like he has higher tech than everybody else. So it would make sense too that, like, just his design, he seems higher tech than other people. So it would make sense that Nova built him and, like, takes care of him or something like that. Like, that would make sense. But and then he's like, oh, he takes care of his face because Nova has the money to, like, take care of him, But then I don't know. I hated that choice, that it was like this big brute guy that really, like, I wasn't even intimidated by at all. Like,
I liked the diversity of the characters. And it's one of the world building things that I think they did really well, is that the characters were so diverse. They were so, like you said, like, I think he could have been, maybe he could have passed as a Boba Fett kind of character.
But I just think if you're making him the top of the top assassin guy.
Well, he wasn't, obviously.
But I mean, like,
he seemed that way.
If he's reporting directly to Nova to kill this girl, because he was obviously the number one choice by him, he keeps going back to him to kill her.
Did he? Wait, I didn't think he was in contact with Nova.
He keeps talking through Vector.
Yeah, but that dude, what's that dude's name?
Who?
The sword dude.
Oh, I don't know. It was started with a Z or something.
I don't know. We'll just call him Zion then, because I want a name for him. So, well, that's gonna make. I'll just say sword dude, okay? So the sword guy never had contact with Nova.
No, not the sword guy.
Oh, I was talking about the sword guy.
Oh no, I was talking about Brute.
I was generally speaking about how I like the diversity of all these characters, and that I think that the subtraction of, I wouldn't have wanted to see the sword guy replace the Brute's place.
Oh, I would.
I believe that, like you said, if he was gonna play something more than what he was, like more of a character, quote unquote character, then I would have. I think that they needed to keep him at. He might have been reporting directly to Nova. I would have felt okay about that, but it seemed like I didn't think that guy. He was too arrogant to be under anyone else other than Nova.
But that's what I'm saying from the start. I wouldn't have made him that arrogant. I would have made him way more badass and actual because they introduced him from the start. The second I see him, I'm like, that guy's terrifying, and I don't want to get anywhere near him. And then as soon as he says a word,
I would have liked to see his character.
The actor, I don't know his name.
He plays that character very well.
But
that type of character very well.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say he at least has some serious badass parts in Deadpool. And, like, he pulled that off. I don't know why they didn't give him any, like, serious... Like, he kind of had it when he was first talking to Alita. When he was like, oh, you know, a cupcake over here just got her badge.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And then he, like, leans in on her and gets a little kind of creepy.
Yeah.
He kind of had that kind of sliver of a badass moment. And then it's just back to arrogance. And I just didn't like the stuck up all the time. You can have that.
Yeah.
But, like...
Let it be something that's shown...
Even in the end when he's hunting down Hugo... As soon as she shows up, he's not angry. He's not, like, pissed off that she's taking a kill. He's still arrogant and stuck up. And he's just like, oh, you're taking my kill. That's not what I'm...
Yeah.
Like, he should have been furious and, like, I'm hunting him down. He just, you know, whatever. I don't know. I would have done that a little differently.
It showed right there that was important right there that he wasn't angry because he had Alita where he wanted her.
Well, yeah, he wants to make her a fool and actually have her not kill him because, like...
What? No. He wanted to kill him. He wanted him dead, and it was illegal for her to stop him from hunting a known criminal.
No, and I was saying, like, he, you know, that's the kind of thing. He's, like, playing with his food where he doesn't think Alita will actually kill him. He's just trying to be like...
because he's super surprised.
Yeah, he's like, see, I got the best of you. Whatever. It's like, oh, you know, you can't actually do it. Here, I'll help you out. And he stabs him. So it's like, he's kind of just playing with the food at that point. But I don't know. I would have made that a lot more serious of a part. Maybe not that part specifically. I'm just saying that's...
it was a serious part.
No, but like how he played it.
Yeah. I was thinking of like immediately after. Because I kind of wanted to talk about that. What did you think about the Dr. Shirley or Shirlavaya or whatever her name was? Weird. What did you think of that character change?
I didn't care.
Really?
No.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good.
I saw it coming. As soon as they said that she had a kid with Ido.
No.
Yeah.
She was playing the B card the whole time.
I still was like, okay, she's got a heart still somewhere.
She literally told Ido that it was his fault. Like, what the hell? Like, she had no... Like,
but the fact that they were like...
But here's the thing. The reason why she felt that way is the motherly part of her, right? That's the only thing that she would have felt that way. And she mentioned that. She said, I'm a mother too.
I don't know,
But that means that in order for her to feel a mother to Alita, she still has to feel a connection with Ido, which she blames Ido for their child's death. So I thought that's why it was very interesting of a decision to have her be this character that was susceptible to feelings that, you know, well, what I think this showed is that she didn't hate Ido. That she might have just claimed that she blamed him.
That's what I meant. Like, just her talking to him at that part where she's like, oh, you should probably let stuff go.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like,
It
just
seemed very-
that part of them talking to
that's
me
true.
was just kind of like, okay, well, you obviously don't hate him. Because otherwise, like, and then she even tries to become partners with him again. With the bug squashing. She's like, we can make it and we can get up there again.
That's true, yeah.
And I just,
honestly,
I think a part of that, when she finds them in the church thing, a part of it too wasn't fully, oh, she cares about Alita. It was also, she
saw herself.
No, resented Vector because Vector was like, or no, she asked Vector, what are you going to do for the kid, Hugo? And he's like, I'm going to send him up to Zodo or whatever. And she gets pissed off because she's trying to get up there, and he's just giving this kid it, and we see her get upset. So a part of it was also like she was getting revenge on Vector in that way by letting the kid live. So I don't think it was 100% she loves Alita. It was like, I don't know, like 60% that and 40% she was just upset at Vector for. She was getting back at Vector by saving Hugo because she was going to send him up. He was going to send him up there.
I think it showed. I think that this character was more motivated by positive feelings than negative ones. Otherwise, we would have seen her be more resentful of Ido for the death of her.
She was just another one I felt like took a weird direction again. Like, maybe it's just my style. I would have just liked her to be more of just a badass. I think scientist version. I thought from the get-go she was the negative equivalent of Ido, the evil doctor.
Yeah, I thought so.
And then it was like, I liked that they knew each other, they had that connection, but I think I would have kept it completely separate. Like, it's over, they don't care anymore, and she despises everybody on his side. Because then you have that polar opposite. Like, I liked her better as this badass, where it's just like, because when Brute smashes through her window when she's like laying in the bed thing, she instantly gets pissed off and he's like, Ido's little battle girl or whatever. Like, I don't know. There's parts where it's just like I just would have liked her better as just a complete badass doctor on the other side. I didn't really need a kind of love story between her and the kid.
I don't know. I think that the whole point is that this, if we're writing the script again, the
script doctor.
If we were writing this script, we'd change it around. Well, I think we should change it around so that it favors less hard connections, right? I think that the more hard connections, the more focus you have on characters rather than the world. What I mean by that is I think that it was more complicated of a character to choose her to be the way she was rather than the way that you're thinking. And I think we see I'm going to say this right now. I don't think that there is a character. I've never seen a movie with a character like hers before, but I have seen I have seen movies with characters like you were describing, and not that that's the ultimate be all end all judge of what's good and not.
Well, yeah, I'm fine that it happened.
It was like while we're talking about Ido and Alita, as being really complex, really huge characters like that carry themselves with this. That when they walk in a room, you really feel them interact with it. I think that a lot of people in this movie were like that. I think that Dr. Shirley, or whatever her name was, I just remember it started with an SH.
Yeah, it was something like that.
It's because there were like weird names in this movie a lot. I remember that Ido's first name is Dyson, which is a vacuum company. Anyway, I thought that she was one of those characters as well, and I think that...
Well, and to answer your original question, like, I'm not upset at the way it played out. Like, I don't care.
Wait, you mean in general or with?
Like
with
you asked, like, what did you think about her not turning them in or whatever? Like, I was just like, I didn't mind. Like, it's just whatever. She was kind of like,
I just thought it was a big decision.
Especially at that point, I was already just kind of accepting the fact that the movie went downhill.
Yeah.
That I was kind of like, whatever.
I was excited.
You know.
Hugo was dead.
But he's not.
But then she saves him.
I didn't understand that. Like, I thought it was weird that that Ido said that she built the body for him. I didn't understand why she needed to build it.
What, you mean for Hugo?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I didn't think it was... I didn't even realize that had happened.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, she did an incredible job on this work. Like, he lost no brain function and all that stuff. I just thought that was a weird thing. It's like, why didn't you just bring the head back to to Ido and then just have him build it? Like, why did it need to be her building it? And then we never even saw her building it or have her say anything about building it.
I know why. Because she had more parts. You know, Ido's shop is...
No, wait. You know what I bet it is? She put a chip in his brain.
But how is that going to play into the whole thing with Nova? And how Hugo's going to kill Alita next movie? That doesn't make any sense.
It's the same chip that Vector had.
Oh my god.
How Nova was talking through... What? Why? What was the shot where Nova takes his glasses off? What was that? What was it?
Oh, yeah. Like, I was like, dude, just keep him on. No one wants to see
He looked better with him on.
Yeah. He looked cooler because he's supposed to be immortal.
That was a very weird character. We saw basically nothing of him, but what does he do? He's the kind of king up there, but he can also see through other people's eyes. But then he says he's like God because he sees all. But then he controls everything. Apparently, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said like he mentioned it sometime. It's like,
do you think it's just like arrogance though, just saying like, oh, you can't kill me, I'm too.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if he is actually immortal.
I don't think there's magic in this.
No, not magic.
That was the best line in the movie. What holds it up? Magic? No.
Something even better.
Even better. Engineering. That was the best line. Like as a group of engineering nerds, like that was the best.
No, I think the best line was that I have more touch receptors right now.
Oh god.
That was my favorite line.
I upgraded my touch sensors.
Yeah. I can feel so much right now. You want to try? Ha.
Close your eyes.
God, there were only two. That scene I could not actually watch. I actually was like, wow, I'm half considering.
I couldn't believe it was happening.
I was like, I was shocked.
Because right before that, she got the upgraded body,
and we
had that whole fight. That was such a long fight of the bar. Okay, that was a badass part where she gets the night killer or whatever. We still don't remember the name of that. When she starts working for the factory and she gets the key card and she goes into the bar with all the other bounty hunters.
Yeah.
And she gives that speech and then she proves herself.
I love that they laughed because that was so
Zydo or whatever. And then proves herself to the other one. Like that whole part, and then the Brute comes in. And that was a very long sequence.
I love it.
And then it goes right from there to her getting chopped up, and then now we feel bad. And it's like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And then
you're
scared. Like, wait, she's gonna get the new body, and then she gets the new body, and then it goes right into I upgraded my touch sensors. Like, that was such a high, like an adrenaline high for like 20 minutes.
Like I gotta be honest, when I was watching that fight with the Brute and she's chopped up, she has one arm to her.
Oh, in the underworld thing.
Yeah, I was like, no, what's gonna happen?
That's more world building, by the way.
Yeah,
where it's underneath, and he's like, there's layers of worlds that we've just built on top of.
Which once I realized that they were never coming back there in the movie, I realized that there has to be a second movie. Like at that point, I knew that.
I didn't think of that.
I definitely knew there's gonna be a second one because you don't leave something so gaping like that unless you want to give yourself some room.
You were saying the Brute.
When she...
You said when she's chopped up. And
when she punches him in the eye so hard it gets stuck in his head. At that point, I'm like, it doesn't even matter. As long as she has one movable limb, she's going to beat the hell out of this guy.
Yeah, because then she, like... When she props herself up by the one hand.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna escape, but that's the greatest thing about.
I thought she was gonna hop away.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna she was looking around like she was about to jump away and jump up.
I thought it was gonna be hopping.
That's what my favorite part is because we see this numerous times when she's faced with a choice. Many people would run. She has one arm. What's she gonna do, right? But Alita, when she's told to run by Ido in that alley, what does she do? She doesn't run. She beats the shit out of that dude with her bare hands.
Oh yeah.
And
the Knife Lady. That Knife Lady was terrifying.
Yeah. Which I
forgot about that first guy.
Yeah,
that she beats up.
That was intense, and real talk, that was a really amazing part because it really showed like this wasn't just like fight or flight, and she chose to she's like the new instinct. Yeah, it was instinctual, and she knew how to put a target down.
Yeah, well, and the flip,
she didn't stop
before she even punched. The way she flipped, it was like, oh. Well, she knows what she's doing.
I don't even remember the flip.
Yeah, she did. She did like a flip kick towards him.
Yeah, I don't.
Like what's the Chuck Norris move where he does a little falcon kick or something?
Oh, roundhouse kick.
No, what's the flying? Oh no, is it Bruce Lee that does that?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Whatever. Those guys, they seem to come right from. They reminded me of splicers from BioShock.
Yeah.
The first guy and the knife lady both seemed like the splicers. Yeah. I thought that was kind of funny.
Especially they kind of were.
The first guy definitely looked like one, and then the way the knife lady moved, she looked like the spider splicers. I think is what they're called. Yeah. When she is like up in the corner and she's like stuck in, like she looks like a spider up in the corner.
Man, this.
I cannot believe it. It was like. I don't remember where the point was. Like I'm we made the joke about when the touch sensors whatever, but like I can't remember where there was a point. I know there was a point for me. I just don't remember that. I was like, okay, this fell off so hard.
Well, it didn't start well. When we first met, the third character we meet, the second person, or the third person, I guess, that Alita meets, technically third person, was that guy, and she was Hugo, and she was swooning over him, and he was charming, and it's like, no. I already knew, it's like, wow, this is going to be a romance thing, okay. They're really...
Yeah, but like, that point, I still had faith, though.
But at that point, it started so early, was the scary thing. So that you knew that the climax of their relationship, like the most, like...
But like you said earlier, I thought he would be... I didn't think. I hoped that he would be gone soon.
You were praying that this character would not be the abomination that he turned out to be.
He should have tried out for Metal Ball and then died in Metal Ball.
That would have been awesome too.
Yeah.
Imagine they go in as a couple and he just gets smashed.
That was another part.
Well, I don't think that you can enter as a human.
I'm sure you could.
No, they were all...
I bet you could.
They were all cyborgs.
I bet you could. I bet there's a reason that nobody does, but I bet you could.
Because they don't want to die. Yeah.
That was another thing I didn't really need, was Metal Ball.
What?
Like, I don't know.
Okay. Are you telling me that if the Metal Ball scenes weren't in this, you wouldn't have found it fun?
No. I'm saying it has something other than that.
Why not have both? Why are you?
I just didn't really care for it.
Every scene that
I was rewatching the 2003 Speed Racer movie.
Yeah,
like it was just good. Speed Racer.
Is there anything wrong with that?
No, I just mean like I don't know. I got bored of it. Especially, I got bored of it after the scrimmage with her and Hugo.
Well, that was.
And then
that was boring.
Yeah,
I was falling asleep during that part.
I don't know. It's just like, because we had three scenes. We had 3 scenes, like full parts of Metal Ball. The scrimmage, when she goes with Hugo, and then when she gets like ganged up by the assassins.
No. That was the 3rd time, and then the 4th time was when she's going for the championship.
Yeah, but we didn't really see it.
Wait. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Did I? Yeah. Okay. That was my favorite part. I loved watching her just destroy these people.
The one scene, I don't know. I just like, well, and especially the way it tied into the world. Like, why is that the only reason you get to go up there to Zodo or whatever? Like, if you're up in Zodo,
because they
don't watch the game. Why would they care?
The point is that it makes it so that in these tiered civilizations, it makes the people down there happier when they think that there's even a remote chance that you can get up there.
Yeah, but
into the nice living.
To me, it didn't have to be Metal Ball though. There's a bunch of other ways you could have made it.
Okay, I know that it would have been a display of sports though, or some kind of like fighting or something, because otherwise, why would we want? We don't want to watch Alita show herself in like a game of chess, you know?
See, if anything, to me, okay, script doctor, I would have fully. This would have been an Alita and Ido movie, and they both are trained killers, and it's all her being a badass apprentice killer, and then you get up to Zodo by being the best hunter killer, whatever. It's not like you get the credits, whatever, but it's like, because there's no cops in the Iron City or whatever, but there's gonna be cops in Zodo.
I guarantee.
So you get the best cop person, hunter killer in Iron City with the trash and the slums, and then you become the best. Like you're the best person down there, so you get to go up there and be the cop person.
Nah, I'm sorry to kill it.
Are you kidding me? That would have been so crazy.
No.
Because then you get to fight the most badass like kingpin overlords of Iron City,
But
and she gets to defeat them, and that's the first movie. She gets to defeat the Iron City overlords, who, well, it's Vector. That was a great line, by the way. I'd rather rule in hell than serve in heaven.
Which, by the way, I mean,
that was really cool.
Again, but that character was fantastic.
We'll get to that, but I'm fixing the script real quick.
Oh my god. I already told you it's not going to work.
She's just like, it's just a movie about them being trained killers. Especially her. Because then, like, it could be... That'd be so cool.
I think this is the most excited and upset you've been at a movie to date.
I had so much hope for it, and I love cyberpunk, like anything cyberpunk, and that kind of, not post-apocalyptic, but like that kind of world.
Yeah,
I love everything about that world, and so like Blade Runner, all that stuff, like Sixth Sense, Ghost in the Shell, you know, and it's just like
Sixth Sense.
What?
Sixth Sense?
Or not Sixth Sense.
The one about Bruce Willis and being a child doctor.
Shush. The Fifth Element. The Fifth Element,
dude.
That's what it was. The Fifth Element. I knew there was a number.
Oh, there was one number.
The Sixth Sense and the Fifth Element. Okay, just all the way back to it. Like,
holy shit. I want to complain so hard right now, but I can't because you're gonna cut all this out so that it doesn't freaking sound.
Yeah, I'm like aggravated by it because I love that world. I love those stories, and it's just like this could have been so badass and so interesting
we've been over
and
this.
So much story. Yeah, but you asked me the question.
Well,
why you asked why I was so heated by it.
No, I knew why you were heated about it. It was mostly a rhetorical question, for the sake of being like, wow, pointing out.
Yeah, but I was just giving backstory. I love those the world of cyberpunk and all that stuff, and it's just like I'm heated because I
want to take a couple steps back.
I'm just blown away that they did that. Like I don't know. It's just weird. It's just crazy to me that they took that turn, and not even just okay. We're hitting on the romantic turn very hard. I think just as an entirety, the whole story went to crap in the last half. Like whatever every
because
decision,
it was driven by this romance.
Yeah, but I mean, like even ignoring that, like the little things of like of Brute trying to get her. And all that stuff, like the interactions with that, and like Nova with Vector, and like every piece I felt was falling apart.
That's why I believe that really what should have happened less is a less of a focus on the small characters that don't matter as much. The what you would call supporting characters, you know, like the you know, keep the ones that are interesting maybe, but have less of a focus on them. I didn't want to focus on Vector. I didn't want to focus on...
I wanted a lot of Vector.
I liked him as a character, but what I think you need to do to build these just epic worlds that are huge is have a very small roster of main characters and a very big focus on the world. Not really. There was a lot of... We saw the same amount
of... It was Alita, Ido, Hugo...
Dr. Shirley.
Well, yeah, the main assassin dude with the mohawk, Vector, the Jennifer Connelly assistant lady, and then like kind of ish Nova.
He was more of a
I just like
side character.
He's you know what he is?
No, he was a main character.
You know what he is? He's Snoke.
No,
he's like no. I mean, like he's the kind of thing where we see him for a second in Force Awakens. We see him and we're like, that's gonna be a villain for another movie.
But he was a villain in this movie. You know, he didn't play a small like character in this movie. He was constantly interacting with Alita and all the people.
Snoke interacted too. In Force Awakens, but I mean like he's on the same par where I bet you next movie we're gonna see him in Last Jedi. We see Snoke and we actually get to see Snoke. And
of course, we're gonna see him.
No, I know, but I'm comparing him to that where it's like he kind of counts, but he doesn't really. I guess if you want to replace Nova, you can replace him with Brute because we see him a lot.
Now you're saying replace Nova with Brute
as like the main kind of group of character things, like you're saying.
I just felt that. Well, I thought we were on the consensus that Brute played a worse.
No, but you were saying you felt like there was too many characters, and I was just naming them.
It's not about like a number. It's about less of a focus because you know you see like in Blade Runner, this is an iconic world because we have very small set of actual characters that we follow, and we don't know about their characters based on how much they talk with other people. In Blade Runner, we see these characters by how they interact with their world rather than their characters, because their characters are described more by what they don't say than what they do, which is why I dislike where they went with this movie. And their biggest crutch was that they were relying on their least. This is the thing, is that it became Americanized when they made it like every other villain, or like every other like really superhero or like kind of movie where there's these very classic and easy to spot things that are happening. A very big antagonist. He comes back because he says he's gonna come back. They don't choose to do weird and chaotic moves, like right there. If Brute had come back, kill him right there. No.
Where?
When
with the bar fight scene?
No, where he comes back having his arm removed, and they were talking about, should we just dispose of him? Kill him.
Oh,
kill him right there.
When he's in the surgery thing with
and then Nova can come in and say, like, using Vector, he can say, he's useless to me, he's failed me, right? You know, that would be more of a stereotypical and, like, you know, expectable move by Nova, but it doesn't matter because Nova's not the primary enemy in this movie.
Well, but it also shows that Nova just doesn't care. Like, he's like, whatever, just get rid of him. Because that's a human.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the Brute guy was a human.
Well, he was a cyborg.
Well, I mean, it's like, you know.
Everyone, everyone was, the only non-cyborgs, they're either humans, cyborgs, or they were the peacekeeper guys. With the
peacekeeper guys.
Centurions. Centurions, right? Those were so everyone else was
I mean human by, like,
he had a life.
Yeah, like it's a face, it's a brain, it's, you know, it's a life, whatever.
But right there, just make chaotic moves instead of choosing to bring back this character that constantly serves, or don't use Sword Guy so much. Sword Guy, I wanted to see him scram. I wanted to see him run for the hills because he was afraid of Alita. I didn't want to see him because he was.
I'm the opposite. I wanted Brute to die right there, like you're talking about. That would have been good. I'm fine with that. And then have Sword Guy be recruited by Nova because Brute is dead now, and have Sword Guy become this badass assassin that I was talking about earlier.
No, because that's
he was cool. I didn't want him to leave.
It's not about making a cool movie. It's about making no, because this world is so much better than all of these characters. The only characters that were worth it were greater than the only two characters that deserve being put more emphasis than the world itself were Alita and Ido. Those are the only two characters worth it that I was okay with saying, I don't care that these people talk to each other, but I don't like that they interact so much with other characters, when really I'd rather them interact with their world. And when you choose to make characters more transient, you know what I mean? Like they go out of, you know, they disappear, right? They cease to exist in the story as we know it anymore. It develops less of a focus on characters and more of a focus on the world, so that when a new character comes up, it's not a character.
Yeah, but you don't.
It's part of the world that exists.
You don't just want, like, you designed that guy, Sword Guy. You don't want him to just leave. Like, if you're doing like
if he weakens the story, then yes.
Yeah, no, but like not just leave. Like you would kill him, or like you dispose of him. He doesn't just not show up again. Because like he was a cool guy, badass. Like, you know, if you wanted Alita to have to prove herself or whatever, kill him in that fight scene or whatever. Like, do some sort of thing where if you want him dead, I didn't want him dead, but if you want him dead, like, or gone, do something with it.
Maybe Ido kills him. Maybe Ido killed him at some point. I mean, that could have been a thing.
No, so see what I'm saying is, I'm fine with everybody being there, all the characters that were there or whatever. I think the only two good, like, nice people should be Ido and Alita, and everybody else should be evil, backstabbing maniacs that you never know.
Yeah, we didn't
who
see
they're
a whole
with,
lot of that.
Who they're attacking. They should all be hating each other. There should always be what's it called?
Chaos.
When you're working with two parties. Double agent. They should all be like I said about Knife Guy, like getting recruited by Nova or whatever. Not Knife Guy, Sword Guy. I don't know. I just think that, like you said, chaos. Everything else should be complete chaos. and then Alita and Ido are the only two that are like the good ones and that we have hope for. Like we shouldn't like Sword Guy.
We shouldn't like Sword Guy.
Like we should absolutely hate him. But we kind of liked him because he was that arrogant kind of prick.
What?
Like
liked that?
No, I just mean like we didn't hate him. He was just kind of there. I guarantee the majority of the audience.
Actually, I loved him. He tried to kill Hugo. He was the best character in the movie.
I guarantee the majority of the audience didn't hate him. They found him funny. I bet he was a comedic.
I mean, yeah. I think that towards the end
hate him.
I think that towards the end there were redeemable traits about Sword Guy. I think it was awesome that he was shocked that she killed him, right? Like in an almost like impressed way, like wow.
That's what I mean.
Like I think there were definitely redeemable parts about the character. They just didn't show up with how they wanted it.
But they wanted that. It was going back to earlier, like where I said like he should be intimidating all the time, and then have a sliver of arrogance and prickiness, not the other way around.
You know, I'm gonna make my first criticism on the character Alita actually here, which is I'm surprised I'm saying this honestly. You know, this seems very almost heretical, but when she walks into, I found that speech cringeworthy. Like, I mean, it was. Awful.
Yeah, well, we knew it was gonna.
And I mean, it's like well, yeah, we knew once she started the speech, it was gonna fall flat, but like. I felt that they played too hard on this naive part of her. Like I felt like she was complex. Alita was very complex, and I wanted to see this speech come out of something other than that. I wanted it to come out of less of well, I guess it was discovery. She was discovering what this environment was.
She just started ignoring Ido too. Like she went and got the hunter killer badge, and like she was feeling high and mighty, so she was just like, I'm just gonna do it. And she went out and got the job. And then she went right to the bar, and even Hugo was like, "What are you doing? Like you haven't
Hugo.
Come on. I just mean like, he was thinking what we were thinking, where it was like, you just got this, you haven't done anything, and you can't just walk into it.
But that makes sense. And so I mean, like,
and she didn't have the OP body. She was just like still her normal robot self, and so it was just the arrogance of like, oh, I know what I'm doing.
But that's what makes her the battle angel, is that she doesn't, she felt confident in herself enough that she wanted to explore the world as she knew it.
Yeah, but I'm
using
saying, like,
this way.
That's why I didn't hate the speech. I just saw it as her being immature and just thinking she knew everything because she could beat up somebody.
Yeah.
Because it's what it was. She was like, I'll challenge anyone.
I wanted to play differently.
I mean, it was kind of weird. Especially, the fight went on for a little too long.
No. I disagree.
like in the bar.
There were maybe less... I wanted more shots of Alita in that.
That's what I mean. It was just a lot of just everybody.
Can you imagine like a Kingsman style of? You've seen a Kingsman movie, right?
Yeah, I didn't like it though.
Like a Kingsman style like fight scene.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff.
Really? Oh yeah, you don't like the camera, how the camera moves.
Yeah, I didn't like the jerkiness of it.
Yeah.
And like the slowdowns and stuff.
I just liked how it followed the main character.
Yeah, that I agree with. I mean, like with the actual, the way
it could have been done in a style like that without the jerkiness or the movement, or maybe even maybe the slow mo. Honestly, but if it followed Alita like almost in like a third person kind of view,
the action was on and off a lot. Like there was some really badass moments, and then there was some that was
we had to have some time for the romance. I mean, couldn't just be all action.
But then it was like, so there was some badass parts of her fighting, and then there was some that was just like, okay, I mean, this is whatever. Like the bottle kick, when she kind of kicks the bottles in the air, that was just kind of whatever to me.
Yeah.
But like the way when Sword Guy first jabs at her, the way she catches it and then twists his head and then slams him down. Yeah. Like that was an interesting way of doing that move and showing her power.
I think the choreography is really good in this movie, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, well, and especially when it got to the twisting knife fingers on the brute guy, like that whole scene in the underworld place where she's spinning and dodging and like whatever, that's showing her actual like, what do you mean? That was unique.
Yeah, it was.
And then especially when she's doing the spinning thing, right?
That was cool. Yeah,
like,
that was
because we saw that in the trailer, and then it's like that's pretty badass, and then it's like, oh, she's gonna actually stab him in the face, and then it just you see her get cut, and it's like, whoa, okay.
That was incredible.
Because you didn't really expect that. You expect her to just beat him up.
Yeah.
In no time.
It just felt a lot like Doc Ock to me until that moment. You know, it was kind of cheesy. He was just stabbing the ground.
Yeah. And then when it comes back at the end, where he comes back again,
it's like,
and he's got the fingers again,
which
then she's just like absolutely brokenly overpowered.
Because she has this sword.
Yeah, and then she has cool. Like it lights up with her flame things that even Ido's like, I have no clue what that does.
Because it was an thing. Like it was an it was what do they call it? Metallurgy.
Yeah.
So it made sense that because she had her new body that it resonated with that thing.
Yeah, it made sense. I was just saying it was like she was stupidly overpowered.
I mean, when we were seeing like the moon battle, right? Like that was pretty freaking cool because no one had a weapon. Like these battle angels didn't have a weapon, or not battle angels, but like the people fighting. You know,
yeah, they did, didn't they?
What are they? No, they didn't. There was the opposing enemies that had like firing weapons or something.
I don't think that's true because they had weapons when they were on the.
My main point was that they didn't have these swords. Like they weren't standard issue, right? It was like, imagine who this was that they had this badass sword. Like this must have been like a really high up person that had just this awesome sword made for them. And it's even cooler when she wields it because it's really she feels like it. She looks unstoppable.
Oh, her whole design was
incredible.
Insane. Like when she finally gets the purple body, and like it starts morphing into that.
Yeah,
like that was crazy.
That was
and
really
then
cool.
when she starts doing the handstand and moving and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like, whoa, like it's basically what Ida was thinking, where it's like, oh, like that. Okay, that's what you were meant for.
Yeah, exactly.
And she instantly goes into this crazy pose, and the fluidity of the movements and all that stuff. That was a crazy scene.
I think she's a little too broken though. I think they've made her too broken, and it's gonna be really lame when they have to come up with a way to kill her next movie.
I'm not gonna kill her.
Well, okay, find a challenge for her. I mean, how do you stop her? She has a sword that's like.
Well, they were stopped somehow before because there was the fall and the Great War. I don't
remember how though.
But I mean, like, there's a way
up there.
I'm saying there's a way to do it.
Well, yeah, but like
she's the last.
That was 300 years ago. How are they supposed to remember?
Why does the time matter? It's because my point is that it happened.
My point is that 300 years ago they knew how.
Yeah.
But there have been none since then. So why would they?
That's not the point. The point is that it happened, so there's a way to do it.
Well, but
it doesn't matter that the characers don't remember.
No, but this world is built on a fall.
No, but you're saying how are they going to do that? How are they going to kill her?
No. But my point is that this world is built on the fall, or what do they call it? Like the war.
It was the fall.
Yeah. That like both sides basically got swamped.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that maybe they lost that technology. They lost all their technology to fight, and they only have like the last.
Yeah, but there's no reason you couldn't think of like they'll find a way. I'm saying they
haven't had to deal with it in 300 years.
That doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying.
Why would they be so interested in doing? Like, why would they be interested in developing more technology for fighting this Martian civilization? When
I'm not saying develop technology. I'm saying there's proof that they have stopped that technology before, so there's no reason for you to say that there's no way for her to do it.
I'm not saying that there's no reason. I'm just saying like it's gonna be lame if they just pull out like kryptonite, haha, or anything really.
I definitely don't think it'd be that.
But like,
why are we even arguing about this? Because Nova was being talked about during the fall. There was that flashback of her training in the bubble thing.
So he is immortal.
And so she was training to kill Nova. So why are we even arguing about this? Like, Nova knows how to kill him.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, that's right there. Why,
okay, you could have just said that and we wouldn't have had to go on this whole charade, but...
Oh, my God. We're just going in circles now, really.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of beaten this horse up enough.
I just can't believe it, man.
Overall,
and then the ending. Like, yeah, you said at the very beginning, I thought it was so funny. Because I could not believe for the life of me that that's how they ended it. I could not believe that.
I believed it.
That after all of that, all of this, like, pulling our leg about what's so great about Zoto or whatever the heck it's called, and then it's just her, like, going for Grand Champion. I thought at the very least we would see her actually get Grand Champion.
No, because they're saving that for the intro of the next movie, so it's interesting.
But it wouldn't be interesting because we already know that she wins before. We know she's broken, so we know she's going to win.
It's going to be an epic scene to start it off. It's like, wow, look at this choreography.
I'm not going to care because I know she's going to win. That's my
point. Whatever.
That's my point. Is that and even if she doesn't win the race, she's still getting up there. To Zoto. That it's just like you just said. We know she's broken, and stupidly overpowered. So it's like now I just like in going into the second movie, it's just like.
So what is this? So you just pulled a 180 because I was saying this exact point, and then now all of a sudden you're like, you have a really
no. You were saying I don't know how they're gonna say that they defeat her, and I was like, they have proven proof that they've defeated them before. That's what we were arguing.
I said she was broken. That's what I said. I said she seemed too broken.
But then you said I don't know how they're gonna stop her in the next movie. And I was saying that they have stopped them.
Paraphrase with context, you'd understand.
I'm just saying, I hated the ending so much. That was so dumb.
It made perfect sense.
I get cliffhangers. Dude, I understand cliffhangers, but that was a stupid one.
Dude, after they pulled the, I'm really sensitive right now.
Oh my god.
I was like, you know what? Anything could happen.
That was a stupid ending.
They could end it at Alita dying, and I would be.
That was a stupid ending.
It was a really good ending though, because Hugo was finally dead. Or we could at least
we didn't even talk about that.
We could at least hope that he's dead.
We didn't even talk about it. He survives. The second he wakes up, Ido tries to save him and sneak him out because now the Centurions are after him. And he just decides to climb up the cable.
Yeah.
To get up to Zoto.
That showed that this character was the weakest piece of garbage in this movie. I mean, that was solidified his number one spot on the most stupid characters in this movie. Because, like, even if he has a reason, even if right now he has a reason, like if we find out in the next movie that he had a reason for getting up to Zoto,
that has to happen.
It won't. What do you call it? It won't satisfy the requirement for why he was so insanely stupid running up there. I bet no one's ever thought of running up these things before.
I mean, they did say earlier where he said, if I was as strong as you, I would just climb up there right now. So we did get that line earlier, but it was still just like,
it's just foreshadowing to him being dumb.
Yeah, it was just dumb.
Like, seriously, I don't know how anyone would be so stupid to think, I bet they don't have any way of stopping me from just running there on these freaking cables.
It looked like the slope of those cables increased like exponentially.
Yeah.
Like that thing looked straight up.
Yeah. Like 90 degrees at some point.
And they were just like, I'm just going to walk up it.
Great movie.
I hated the ending. That was just really dumb. Like, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I mean, like, I was laughing. Like you said, I was laughing at the end because I just couldn't believe that's how they ended it. I think there could have been a dozen different ways that you could have ended on a better way to end a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I mean, yeah, it was a badass shot of her pointing up to the sky with like, and then the you know, that's a cool.
What would have been cool is if they started the metal ball, and then halfway through she's reaching for it, and there's like a bunch of shit on the screen, and it stopped right there.
That's awful.
Shut up.
There's a record scratch, and then she's like,
"What?" I'm not saying cheesy. I'm saying like, what the hell?
No, I don't like that. Because at least I'm saying at least the ending shot of her holding that's gonna be a cool GIF that I'll look at. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't a good ending to the movie.
All right, how about this then? Script doctor time. What would you do instead?
That's what this whole movie is. A script doctor. I'm just gonna name the episode Script Doctor. It's not even gonna be Alita. Like what would I do at the very end?
Like how would you change the ending then?
The last.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking. Well, the ending means the ending part of the story, not the end shot.
Well, we know it's a confirmed second sequel.
You're talking about the end shot.
Well, I'm just saying, like, leading up to it, within the last 10 minutes of the movie, how would you save it?
We don't have time to go over that. There's too much.
Hugo dies. They couldn't put his body in a cyborg.
That was also a very weird ending, where she's just left hanging there on this massive cable. The sheer like size and scale of that thing was incredible, especially when you see how high they are. Like that guy. Like to be fair, Hugo made it a long ways.
To give him props.
But then it just cuts to a time lapse, and then there's a voiceover that says a couple of months have gone by. That was just weird.
I remember that.
Yeah, because then it goes right into the metal ball.
I must have been spacing out after Hugo died. I must have been spacing out after the whole my fingers are sensitive.
You keep going back to that. I
kind of want to keep bringing it up because it was. But
you said you were just seeing. I didn't do my selected scene.
Yeah. So what is it?
God, I don't know.
Hugo falling.
I always have a hard time with these.
Yeah, you do.
It's a hard time choosing because.
Dude, you don't choose it. if I tell you,
no,
what did you think
I don't mean choosing. I don't mean choosing. I mean like, okay, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to get to. It's a hard time choosing because I have a hard time picking a scene because when I'm gonna think about this movie, I'm gonna think about the world building and how badass her character looked and the purple and the weird tank top thing she had on. That thing was super cool where it showed the arms.
That's true.
Like it showed the purple of her arms, which is super badass. But then there's the black tank top. Like I'm gonna think about the character looks and the world building. I have a hard time actually picturing. I think right now it's the alley fight, where Ido is in his trench coat and hat with the thing, and then we see her for the first time like get to beat up those people. But like I also don't like that that's my first one. I always argue about this because I don't like what they always are because I wish that it was something badass with her in the purple. You know,
I think a good second runner up would be also the intro when we see Ido pick her up.
It was too short for me.
It was a gorgeous scene.
Like I would have liked it a lot longer if he was like scavenging
it was
and like
pretty long.
No. I mean like if there was more world building with that. If he was walking down a street and like talking to some people like a merchant or something and then wandering through the junkyard, like that's how you world build is you like we were talking about at the very beginning. It's discovery. I don't want to see 5 seconds of him digging through the garbage and then have him pick up a human head and like hold it. I would much rather see him actually wandering through the city.
No, but it builds more of an idea of what he's like, how he, because that was for his shop so that he could help people.
Yeah, but you see him getting there is what I'm saying. He's walking through the town. He's seeing the merchants whatever. Or maybe he picks up a part and he sells it to somebody.
But see,
because then it's like, oh, he's a transaction or something like that.
It's just ripping off like Star Wars now. Scavenging in freaking Jabu Desert.
I would have liked that part a little longer, right? Because he discovers Alita too fast for me. Like I get it, she's the main character.
She's the main character.
No, I know, but I'm saying like
you're wrong in this. I'm gonna be honest. You're just wrong. It's okay to be wrong, dude.
Yeah, I'm telling you, my script doctor is so much better. Those are the only two, and then everybody else is just crazy badasses.
Remind me, if you ever make movies, ever, or even help in making movies at all, I'm never watching that movie.
And there was so much potential. There was so much potential.
Yeah.
Like Jennifer Connelly as the doctor, and like Mahershala Ali as I almost said Venom, as Vector. Like he was so badass with those glasses. Like he looked so dope with the leather gloves too.
Yeah.
So insanely intimidating. Everybody looked incredible.
Everyone played really well. The casting was really good.
Yeah. Christoph Waltz's Ido was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he just seemed like the nicest guy.
What else did he play? I remember him from something.
He's in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh yeah, it was that. Yeah.
Do that. Jesus.
Anyway, well, I guess that's the TLDR version of our.
The best way I can explain it is I just can't believe it went
wasted
this way.
potential.
I can't believe it went this way. I just like we said at the very beginning.
And yet,
the first 45 minutes, I was in love.
And yet, I am in love with the story. I love it because
The story?
I love the potential is not. It's not wasted. There's still so much of this world that I want to know. That I think I hope they redeem it. I hope they play it right because this could have been something amazing like Blade Runner, but I love what was good about the movie so much that I'm willing to accept that there was some bastardizations of the of just in general the story and how they went with the characters and yada yada yada. I think that that Ido and Alita are still going to be in the next movie.
Oh yeah.
And they are such complex and great characters that I want to see more of them.
I just from the
I'm trying to be a little positive about this.
No, I know. I just just for my wrapping it up. I mean, I said a script doctor.
Yeah.
It should have just been no romance, just her and Ido, the kind of father-daughter apprentice master type thing.
Yeah.
They're just training to be trained killers, and it's just a whole movie of them being badasses taking out the trash of the Iron City or something.
And I still
like
disagree, but
that would have been so much more interesting. You're picking apart the characters. You could have had some more mystery.
Oh yeah, it would have been more interesting.
To Ido,
I think that.
Wait, what? You just contradicted yourself. You wouldn't like it, but it'd be more interesting.
Well, because in my mind, the way I'm seeing it is it's better than what we saw, but if we're changing it, I think that there's a different way.
Well,
I've talked about my opinions
like,
of it. So like, if it's being changed, I think that it should be changed in my way. I'm not saying like, you know, like, yeah, like real talk. I'm not. So that's why I'm not contradicting myself. I'm just saying that yes, your way is definitely. Well, but see, then we wouldn't have saw the potential for my way. So
I don't even remember what yours is, to be honest.
Yeah, because you didn't listen to me once.
No, because I was so upset about how it went down.
That's why I hate when you get so ranty about movies, dude. Holy, you just get so stuck in your head in your cloud.
Because you wouldn't let me just finish. You wouldn't let me say my idea. You kept cutting me off.
Okay, dude.
Because then it's just like you have like it'd be like a cyberpunk gangster movie where Vector is running the slums or whatever like that, and then he's sending out these train killers and all this. The factory was cool. That was a cool thing. That like these night killer whatevers worked for the factory to kill people. That was cool.
What the factory? What?
With the Centurions when they walked in and delivered the heads.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
Like that was cool. You know, like, and he's running the factory, but he's also running Metal Ball. Like I liked the idea that Vector was this, like he said, leader of hell. But not a servant up in heaven. Like, I don't know. I felt like he was really wasted. You had this badass looking Mahershala Ali, and he was just kind of almost a wimp to, especially when it came to when Nova came into the picture, because he just kind of whimpered whenever he would like. Well,
that's like that's what it.
No, I get it's supposed to be the power
cost. That's the cost of, but it's like, being the leader of hell.
I don't know. I feel like he was pretty wasted too. Was Vector.
I've already voiced mine, and apparently I wasn't heard.
That's not what I said.
No, I know you didn't know what I said. Well, anyway, we can agree to disagree about the script doctor.
Yeah, and I think it's also interesting, the kind of script doctor argument, because, I mean, heck, if anyone listens to this, like, I think it's kind of interesting to see the two different viewpoints of, because this is obviously why movies turn out this way or that way, because this is what happens. Writers have different points of it, and then we just get something, because then once the writers decide on something, the producers say they have to change it.
Yeah.
So this is why that happens.
So I can totally see.
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
I can totally see this being a thing that they might have tried to go for something bigger, and producers like add Hugo. Yeah. There's gotta be a love interest.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, we argue and whatever, but like, it's interesting seeing two different viewpoints, because I'm just biased in the fact that I just want a badass gritty world, and I don't care about anything else. I just want to see the characters be badasses for 2 hours, and so it's like, it's just interesting to see the different sides.
But we can both agree that the script needed changing. That's the beauty of this.
Yeah, and the root cause of it is Hugo.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt.
And that we hope to God that in the second one we find out his face was smashed against the pavement. I swear
he's going to come back, and it's going to be he wants revenge on Nova for some reason, and that's why he wants to get up there. And then now he's all happy that he's a cyborg, because he can actually be powerful for whatever reason.
Yeah. Anyway.
What if it was a master plan that he wanted to be a cyborg this whole time?
No, Hugo's not that smart.
Man, his friend got chopped in half.
Yeah.
Like,
that was awesome.
Yeah, so if you guys want to let us know what you thought about Alita, whoever's side you're on,
or if you have a third side.
Okay, like I said, the very root of it, we're on the same side.
Yeah.
Like, it.
What do you guys think about
It took a bad turn, and Hugo's awful. So if you disagree with us, I'd love to hear why.
Definitely, especially if you disagree.
Yeah. So you guys can let us know. You can email us at themidnightshowingpod@gmail.com. Our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube are all the same at The Midnight Showing, and our Twitter is backwards at Showing Midnight. So yeah, you can let us know what you thought, if you disagreed or agreed.
If Hugo was your...
I have a feeling people disagree. I have a feeling we're in the minority.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely easy that people really thought that this was a great movie. I mean, it was beautiful, and it had so much potential that I could easily see someone being like, you know what, it's passable, the whole romantic side of it.
Yeah, I think the majority is just going to go in and be like, that was pretty bad.
It definitely is, without thinking too hard. It's not that bad of a movie. Like, if you just forget how good it could have been, and you just think about it. It was a very good movie. You know, honestly, like, it was a good movie if you just forget how good it could have been.
That's just such a funny way to put it. it's a great movie if you don't think about how good it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, which is what most people do. They don't think, they try not to think.
Yeah, I'm just laughing because you can say that about literally any movie. If somebody didn't like a movie, it's not that bad if you just think about how bad it was. Okay, see you guys next time.
Bye.